Welcome back to NorCal Sports TV Summer Basketball Camp. I am Danny Scott, and a very special guest here for Game 2. We got Levi Flores, the voice of choice, decided to join me. Along with his producing duties, he'll be on the mic for this one.
Yeah, you mentioned it's been such a long time since we worked with each other since football season back in the fall. I'm excited to be back in August fall season and having football under our belts, but summer basketball camp, you can't get any better than this.
Well, it could be the NBA Finals. I'll just throw that out there, but this is pretty great. It's great weather up here, a couple fun games.
It was only a high of 85 degrees today. We did hit that mark. It felt a little bit hotter, but luckily with our trainer out here, he made sure that all of us stayed hydrated, and the water is out for everyone too.
Well, starting the scoring off for Team 2 is number 59, Jameis Sullivan, and a quick 2 points for, Team 1, I believe that was. And a quick retaliation there for Team 3, number 65, Landon Bader.
And I know, Danny, this is your first time up here at camp. I know you know the rules already as well, but for those who don't know, we have 4 different divisions at the camp. We have the WNBA, which is the entire girls division. We have the NBA division, which is the 4th through 6th grade boys. Then 7th and 8th grade is the D League, which we're watching right now. And then we have the G League, which is the entire high school division as well.
Yeah, a lot of kids up here so far. They got a great camp going on. I believe, what is this, the 4th or 5th year of this camp?
It's something like that. I never can remember. We've done 3 weeks one year, 2 weeks another, 3 weeks another year, and they all add on top of each other. But it's been long running, and even before it was the NorCal Sports TV Summer Basketball Camp, it was the Dick Edwards Camp, in which legendary coach Denny I, who is now a coach of the Legends team each year and a multi-year champion, as I may add, is back up here coaching at the camp that he used to before this.
Yeah, and I remember as a young high schooler, I believe it was my freshman year or coming into my freshman year, I participated in the Dick Edwards camp. So a long-running camp here, and it's always a good time. I always remember being extremely exhausted after the camp, but nonetheless, you have a ton of fun, and you get to play a lot of basketball over the course of 4 or 5 days. And a great move there by number 77, Mason Johnson. Just not enough on the layup. But he'll go down and get the rebound on the other end of the court. Kicks off to Jameis Sullivan. His floater won't go. Rebounded by Jacob Phillips. Kicks out to Troy Eskis, but his shot won't go. Stolen back by Johnson. Ten-footer, just too strong on that one.
To add on to how the camp works too, Danny, Mondays, day 1, evaluation games. And what that means, coaches are all watching from the sidelines, and they want to see how well the players play with each other, their skill level, and everything that has to do with basketball. So from today, they're looking at the 2 games and saying, hey, these players are good at this, these players are good at that. And tonight they'll have a draft behind closed doors, and they will draft their teams. And tomorrow they'll be on their respective teams for the rest of the week through Championship Friday.
So I think we need to get somehow to talk to the whoever runs the camp and maybe get that draft going on NorCal Sports TV. I think that would be a pretty fun watch if you've been paying attention to games all day. Johnson blocked from behind, but rebounded there by Glenn Hall. His layup won't go, though. And a great move there by number 90, Nash Burgess. A nice left-handed layup on that one. Johnson passes down low to Sullivan. His layup is good on that. 6-6 here, and Burgess, another good move. Brings it up to 8-6 here for Team 4. Mason Johnson still the point guard. He'll take a three-point shot just off the left iron. Out of bounds, going back to Team 4. And with 5 minutes off the clock, we will take a quick break here on NorCal Sports TV. Welcome back to NorCal Sports TV Summer Basketball Camp. I am Danny Scott, joined with Levi Flores, doing a little color commentary and some producing for us here. Team 3 with a 2-point lead, or Team 4 with a 2-point lead over Team 1. Make that a 4-point lead. Nice jump shot there from Chase Taylor. Adds 2. James Sullivan doing the point guard duties here for Team 1. Kicks it to Mason Johnson up top. Thinks about a 3, but a nice give and go. Layup won't go, but rebounded by Glenn Hall. For 2 points there. Number 60, Marco Diaz on that one. A little too strong on the layup. Down low into Hall. A little too strong in the pass. Floats out of bounds on that one.
You know, it's fun to see every year, returning campers and how the progress grows from the year they went to camp and then the following year they went to camp. And I've been here every single year, every single camp, and there's been players that have been here pretty much through every year that we've had the camp. And you can see the progression there, but also just being here year by year, you can see how much better players get just in general. Even for first-time players, they come to this camp, and you recognize the game of basketball is changing, it's getting better, and it's by the way they shoot like this.
And, you know, up here for 4 days straight, all you do is eat, sleep, breathe basketball for 4 days. You're bound to get a lot of decent coaching. You get a lot of practice, a lot of play time, and a lot of times, like you mentioned, it translates even over the course of the couple days that you're out here. And this is my first year up at the camp, but like I mentioned, I was once a player in it, and I can attest from personal experience that, you know, you get a lot of good practice, and you definitely grow. And I'm sure, like you mentioned, you see a lot of
no shots in evaluation games.
You see a lot of these kids return year after year, and the progression that they make. But back to basketball, 15-8 here for Team 4. Pass down to Juan. His layup, no good. Rebounded by Sullivan. Tapped off Sullivan's knee. Out of bounds, going back to Team 4.
My apologies, Danny. I was just talking to officials during that last conversation, but not only is it the coaching that makes these players better too, but all the officials, camp counselors, they're basically dedicated their life to basketball as well. We have Stanislaus State basketball players out here. We have former high school players from top-notch programs in and around the county, people that have went on to junior colleges, D2 universities, D1 universities, and they're all here just encompassing the entire camp in basketball, not just the actual basketball aspect of itself.
And the camp always everyone goes to summer camps as a kid, but for these kids in particular, the ones that really enjoy basketball, it's always such a good time. Like we said, 4 days straight of just a ton of basketball that you get to play. Wake up early in the morning, have breakfast with all the other campers, and then you start doing drills, and by the afternoon playing a bunch of games. Sullivan with the ball, kicks it off to Johnson. His three-point shot, in and out, rebounded by Juan on that. Out to Hall, his three, no good. Johnson trying to cut it into the paint, rebound, or grab by Juan. His shot won't go. And with another 5 minutes off the clock, we'll take a quick break here on NorCal Sports TV. Welcome back to NorCal Sports TV. I'm Danny Scott, joined with NorCal's voice of choice, Levi Flores. 5 minutes to go before a couple-minute halftime break. In for Team 4, Elias Hackett doing the point guard duties. A nice give and go, and Hackett's layup gets fouled on that one. Back to Team 4 with a 17-8 lead. 4 minutes to go before halftime. And a nice pump fake there by Hackett. Just not enough on that one. Stolen away by Marco Diaz.
Oh,
a nice block there from Mason Johnson. Blocked from behind. And Bader will add to the total, 19-8 here for Team 4.
Talking to the coaches during the dinner break and just in between games for the D-League division, Bader's definitely one of the top prospects that the coaches are looking at. In the first game of the day, he not only scored nearly all of the team's points, but he was there on defense. He had over 5 blocks. He was doing everything. And, it's tough to say, like, oh, this player is so much better than that player. This player is better than that player. But Bader, he's been here before. He's been at the camp. And this year showing truly what he's worth and taking that step further beyond just being a basketball player and being a leader, showing what you have to do on the court.
Well, only in 8th grade and already at 6 foot. Definitely an advantage out here playing against some maybe smaller competition than he's used to out of Sacramento. So,
when am I going to hit 6 foot, Danny?
I'm wondering the same thing. I'm just about there, but not quite. Hopefully I'll hit my mid-20s growth spurt here pretty soon.
Same here.
Three-point attempt by number 62, Troy Eskis, won't go. Bader with the rebound, taking the ball up himself. His layup a little too strong, rebounded on that one by Evan Wan. Hall the layup, little too strong. Johnson follows it up with the rebound. His shot won't go. Landon Hansenette with the layup, blocked away by Evan Wan. So, Levi, I'm thinking after halftime, maybe both of us go on one team.
I don't think I could take these guys, honestly. I mean, I don't think I'm a bad basketball player, but going out there right now in my condition.
I don't know. I've seen you play some pickup. Pretty good spot-up shooter out there. Bader's 3 won't go.
I can do what I want when I need to.
We've had some pretty competitive games. A nice pass up by Johnson to Phillips. Layup a little too strong, rebounded by Bader. Down into the paint to Diaz. Reverse layup falls 21-8 here with a minute to go before halftime. Johnson, point guard, thinks about the mid-range shot. Decides to kick it out to Glenn Hall. Stolen away by Hansenette.
I was thinking of ideas to make the camp better and a little bit more enjoyable for the campers, because one thing we want to do for NorCal Sports TV, especially the summer basketball camp, is continue to make it better so that each year you can come back and experience something new instead of experiencing the same thing over and over. And one thing I came up with, but it was a little bit too late. Hopefully we can do it in the future. But a camper versus counselor basketball game that happens one night. All our counselors out here, like I said, play at some sort of higher level, so it'd pretty much be impossible for the campers to win. But all the time they're challenging one of the counselors. They're trying to get some one-up on a counselor, but they never do. But it'd be fun to see them actually try in a 5-on-5 game.
I think that would be a blast. Maybe a broadcaster game might be a little bit better on that one, but as we reach halftime here, we'll take a couple-minute break here on NorCal Sports TV. Welcome back to NorCal Sports TV. I am Danny Scott, joined with Levi Flores. Back after halftime for this 7th and 8th grade D-League matchup. Team 4 up decently big after half, 21-8. Switching sides, Johnson doing the point guard covered by Bader. Kicks down low to Sullivan. Three-point shot from Eskis. Little short, rebounded by Bader. Taking it coast to coast himself, fighting through some contact, and his layup will be good. And Levi, you mentioned it. Bader showing off some size and strength, ball handling ability on that play, and he bounces back with a great defensive play.
He's not afraid in any regard, and that's one thing that holds a lot of players back, is they know what to do in the game, they know how to shoot, they know how to dribble, they know how to do all these fundamental things, but they just don't have the confidence to put it out there on the court. They're afraid to mess up, either because they'll get taken out of the game or it won't look good for them, and you need to continue to do those things and really push forward in that, because then when it does work out, it'll continue to work out more at a higher percentage, and then you get to be like a player like him.
You're exactly right, and that's one of the things that, we wish we could get into these campers' heads, that, this first day especially, you got 5 minutes at a minimum that you're going to be on the court. Just go all out and don't worry about it.
And there is a player in the WNBA league, actually did the one of the WNBA evaluation games prior to dinner time, and there is a 4'6" girl on the WNBA division team, and she was one of the most confident players I saw out on the court. Everyone stood over a foot taller than her, and she didn't care. She went out there and just eluded confidence everywhere.
Definitely takes a lot of confidence to be a solid basketball player. Someone lacking no confidence is Sullivan on that three-point attempt, but it won't go. Back out to Sullivan. Second try is good. Big three-point shot there.
Now, one of my rules of thumb is if you get the same shot twice, especially in a row, you have to make at least one of them. And there he definitely showed that he knows how to react and how to change the shot to make sure it goes in the second time.
And if you couldn't hear that, our very own Levi Flores with the rebound here in the broadcast booth. But you're exactly right. You know, I have become quite an avid golfer after college, and there's a saying with a couple expletives, but the thing is anybody can make it a second time, so if you get that second opportunity, you better make it.
That's right.
Number 90, Nash Burgess with the ball. Kicks it off to Chase Taylor. Down into the paint for Bader.
And one.
His shot is good. Once again, fighting through a little bit of contact. And a big lead here for Team 4, 28-11. About 11 minutes to go here in the second half. Sullivan making his way into the paint, kicks it out to Johnson, covered by Bader.
I don't want to interrupt you, Danny, but we just saw Jordan Worthy walk across camera a little bit. We saw his head. He's 6'8", and that camera's up there around 7 feet tall, and we just had the full vision of his face walking past the camera.
Ooh, little alley-oop try on that one, little too strong. Rebounded by Johnson. Sullivan with the ball, about half court. Kicks it out into the corner. Little too strong on that three-point attempt from Troy Eskis. But makes up for it with the steal up to Sullivan. Sullivan, a stop and go on that one. Won't go on the floater attempt. Bader considers a three, but passes it up to Padilla, who won't hit. Rebounded by Hackett.
He brought that ball low, but he was able to bring it back out.
And Bader with the offensive board that leads to 2 points.
Whenever we play pickup basketball, Danny, you're basically in the post. You're pushing down. And the number one rule as a post player, don't bring the ball down.
You're exactly right. I'm a little bit more of an outside shooter nowadays. I realize I'm not very tall, so, you know, when you get some of the high school kids that we play against that are well above 6 foot, kind of got to work your way outside, but you're exactly right. Get the ball in the paint, it needs to go back up almost immediately, otherwise you're going to get swatted. And you see Nash Burgess on that one perfectly execute that for another 2 points here for Team 4. Sullivan, the floater, won't go. Follows his own rebound, gets it out to Johnson. Thinks about a three-point attempt and fires. A little bit too strong on that one.
Yeah, some of those high school players, whether they're local or not, the height that can be on some of these players. One of them that we play with all the time is actually a former camper here for the NorCal Sports TV Summer Basketball Camp. Current player at Modesto Christian High School, Rye Atkins, 6'7". I mean, what can you do against that when you're not even 6 feet? It's crazy.
It's very difficult. I'm a frequent player against Rye nowadays since you've stopped coming to the pickup games. And Padilla knocks down a three, shows a little flair after that one. But yeah, playing against some of these kids, a lot of times you think kids are smaller than they used to be, especially starting to get, I wouldn't say we're old, but mid-20s nowadays. You see these kids and you're like, oh, they're children. Some of them are 6'5", 6'7", like Rye, and you're like, wow. And you're seeing a couple kids here in this game, not well over, but over 6 foot. Evan Wan, 6'1". Landon Bader, 6 foot. Couple kids that are pretty tall, definitely taller than both of us. Bader kicks out to Padilla, his three-pointer. Little flat on that one, rebounded by Phillips. Up to Glenn Hall, his layup. Too strong on that one, rebounded by Bader. Phillips with the steal. Eskis, his three-point attempt. Little short on that one. Bader up the court to Burgess. His layup is good.
Talking about the age of some of these players, I've thought about this before. Now, I'm 23. I just turned 23 last week. But thinking about it, I do junior college basketball games, right? These players are coming right out of high school. They look like they've been in the NBA for 3 years. And I'm standing next to them, and they're telling me that they're 18 years old. And I'm 5 years older than them. It is pretty wild that way. And then you look at this, where some of these players were probably born in 2010. And
that's crazy to think about.
And here they are standing at 6 feet tall and can probably blow me out of the water on a game of one-on-one.
The game of basketball has definitely come a long way in the last few years. It's a lot more skill-based, and you see that trickle down all the way to the lower levels. I believe when I was in 7th and 8th grade, I would have been maybe publicly executed for taking a three-point shot. And now these kids are throwing them up with ease, as we see a nice layup there from Phillips. Add 2 to Team 1 score, 37-15. Bader getting double-teamed. Padilla, his 15-footer won't go. Hackett gets the rebound, kicks it to Taylor. Taylor shot, a little too strong, rebounded by Bader. His layup is good.
If you follow NorCal Sports TV outside of the summer basketball camp, right now we have the NorCal Sports TV Hoops Circuit, in which we'll have dates all the way through July. I think August is in there as well, but these are all AAU teams coming together, mostly in Stockton and a few surrounding areas. But there we have teams that are 9 and under, and you wouldn't believe it the way their skill level is. You might just think that they're a little bit shorter than the average person, but they're out there at 8, 9 years old, cooking people that are, that could be us.
And Bader gets the ball, but we're going to take a real quick break here on NorCal Sports TV. Welcome back to NorCal Sports TV Summer Basketball Camp here for 7th and 8th grade boys basketball. I am Danny Scott, joined with Levi Flores. And 5 minutes to go here in the second game of this nightcap. Team 4 up big, 39-15.
And remember, these teams are not set in stone yet. Tonight, draft behind closed doors. Nobody's going to know who got drafted by who and in what order until the morning. The order is going to stay anonymous, but everything else will come out tomorrow morning. You're going to have a team name. You're going to have a coach. You're going to go through clinics with the coaches, team practices, build plays, and become better players starting tomorrow. And all the information about the teams and the scheduling you can find at norcalsportstv.com/camp.
That, of course, is Levi Flores talking about how the rest of this camp is going to go. Here on night one, like you mentioned, tonight's just the evaluation night. But one thing we do know is Landon Bader with the ball will probably be coming off the board pretty early. Been impressive thus far in this game. Kicks out to Padilla, his three-pointer. Little short, Bader with the rebound. Pass out to Burgess, stolen by Phillips. Second ball on the court. Eskis three. Little too strong, but looks like they're going to reset. Give team number one an opportunity to run their offense a little bit. Sullivan, who we've already seen knock down a couple threes, standing outside. Thinks about it. Passes it off to Johnson. Johnson back up top to Sullivan. Into the paint. A nice feed, but layup won't go. Rebounded by Bader. Burgess, his three. A little short on that one. Rebounded by Sullivan. Sullivan trying to find Phillips down low. Intercepted by Bader. Padilla, three-point attempt. Won't fall. Padilla once again with the ball. Gives it to Bader, making his way into the paint. Spin move. Great step through, won't go. Gets his own rebound. His layup won't go again. Another rebound, and it finally falls.
I mean, it's unbelievable. A lot of players, once they take that first shot, they're not going to go right back at it like he did. He knew that he came up a little bit short, kept his hand in the air, put his palm right back on the ball, and then kept trying at it. And eventually he realized he's standing so much taller over everyone else, he can stand there and not really put that much effort into it. But that's something a coach may look at and say, hey, you followed the ball, but you kind of gave up on the play and you stood there. You know, we want to keep seeing you rise up to the hoop to get that best opportunity.
Burgess makes everyone fly by, but not without committing a traveling violation. 2 minutes to go. Team 4 up big, 41-15. Johnson bringing the ball up. Covered by Bader. Stolen by Burgess. The give and go alley-oop.
Wow.
Won't go. Bader the rebound. He gets fouled. We'll stay here with Team 4.
You love to see the teamwork, though, in a time where this is the second time playing with somebody, and you're able to pull something off like that.
You can definitely see them having fun out there, and at this point in the game, up big, you can kind of afford to play around like that. Bader's three. Off back iron. Padilla has the ball. In the corner to Burgess. Good move. And his layup is good. .45-15, a minute to go. Sullivan on the right wing. Kicks out to Johnson, his three-pointer. In and out. Rebounded there by Marco Diaz, who kicks it to Burgess. Burgess passing to Hansonet, but that's stolen away from Eskis. Up to Johnson, tipped away by Bader. Most likely last possession here. Sullivan into Juan. Kicks it up top to Eskis. Three-pointer. No good. And that will do it here in game number 2. Team 4 winning 45-15. We'll take a quick break and be back on NorCal Sports TV. I'm Danny Scott with Levi Flores.